And welcome, everybody. I'm Suzanne Shirley, Senior Ruby Ambassador with Plexus, and we're on tonight with the incredible Sapphire Ambassador, Dusty Duncan. And she lives in Southeast Oklahoma. She is running for Diamond. I am so pleased to have her on tonight. The thing is I want everybody to know I met Dusty when I went to my first Opportunity of a Lifetime event in Oklahoma. I was a brand new ambassador. I want to say, no, it was January. I was at gold of 2015, January, and I was getting ready to hit senior gold. And I was in the audience, a teacher, very tired, listening to her talk. She gave her testimony, and I was riveted. As I listened to her testimony, I related to her so much because of her work ethic and the type of job that she was working. She's not a teacher, but obviously she was putting in many hours during the week. And I loved her testimony because she worked Plexus like crazy. She was desperate for an answer. I can't wait for you to hear how she got into Plexus. I want you to hear her story. And she is going to share with us tonight some amazing tips on how to really build your business during this time of year and focus on specifically cold market recruiting, cold message recruiting, whether you're reaching out to your warm market or your cold market. And she's also going to talk about how to really dig deep, push past your fears, and be relentless. Because as we know, in Plexus, you get the idea of leverage, you get the idea of the opportunity of a lifetime with residual income, and a lot of you are very hardworking. But some of you struggle with one of the greatest things, which is resilience, perseverance, and pushing through. So Dusty is amazing at this, and she's going to take it away, share her story, and then I might have some Q&A back and forth with her. Dusty, there you go. It's all yours.
Well, that's quite the introduction there. So hi, everybody. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. I was telling Suzanne that I apologize to you guys. I'm in my car. I just had a surprise ball game for my son that I had to deliver him to. And you know what? That's the beauty of this business. I didn't have to cancel the call. I can take the call with me, right? So you guys get me in my Lexus tonight, but that's all right. You still get me, right? So anyways, my story began in the month of February, the year of 2013. And my girlfriend, Tammy Elmore, Diamond Ambassador, had been doing Plexus for a few months, and she started sharing Plexus with me. And I really thought she was crazy and because it was one of those companies that she had joined. And I thought, I don't want any part of that. But I was happy for my friend because she was happy. And she kept sharing and kept sharing. And finally, one day I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and order these products because she said there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. And I really just want her to leave me alone. So I ordered the products to shut her up. Now, she knows this, so I'm not saying anything ill about my awesome friend, but ordered them and figured I'd just send them back in 60 days and get my money back, and the friendship would be saved. But what I quickly learned was my friend was not crazy. You see, I was a very busy mother. I worked 45 to 55 hours a week or more for a trucking company. And I am a ranch wife, and I have 2 sons, and my life was just crazy. And anyways, so I tried these products. I started getting energy, which was amazing for me because I was so worn out because I was just going all the time. And you see, I also suffered from a skin issue that I had battled for over 12 years. And about 10 days into using the products, I noticed my skin starting to clear up. And I thought that was strange. To say the least, because I had been to doctor after doctor. I had medication after medication, holistic things, everything you could think of I'd tried, and it would always go away for just a little bit, but it never improved like it was with the Plexus products. Anyways, so what I had on my skin, what I learned later, from an awesome doctor that I finally found that knew what it was, because I had been told it was eczema, psoriasis, a mutated version of the two, because it did. It resembled both of them. But anyways, what I had was a yeast overgrowth on my skin, stemmed from my gut. Isn't that incredible? Had a nurse practitioner that started laughing one day because I had one small spot left on the inside of my leg. And I asked her, I said, do you happen to know what this is? And she laughed and she said, that's a yeast overgrowth. You're telling me you had this all over your body and nobody knew what it was? I'd been to specialists, regular doctors, you name it. But it was a yeast overgrowth, hence our ProBio 5, right?
Yes.
So anyways, here I stand before you 4 years later, my skin completely clear. I'm telling you, I had this stuff from head to toe. I looked like a leopard. And the job that I had, I stayed in an office and I never cared to come out of it, because when I did, people would look at me like I had something. I had people at Walmart that refused to take money from me because the checkout lady, I remember her telling me one time, I don't want your money because I don't want what you have. Now, no matter what kind of skin condition you have, when you have it all over your body, that makes it hard. You know, so I'm really sympathetic to people that have skin issues. But anyway, so I used these products from Tammy that I thought were crazy. My skin started to clear up. Guess what? I had diverticulitis. That started to clear up. I was pre-diabetic. Those numbers changed. I'm free from those bad sugars being too high. And again, energy. So all these crazy things were happening. So I decide that I'm going to go ahead and sign up to be a Plexus ambassador, because I need these products the cheapest way possible. I had no intention of doing the business, but I needed to get the products cheap, because my husband started using them because he had some severe digestive issues. And then my youngest son, who had very severe digestive issues, like the list of medications were longer than the list of foods he could eat, started using Plexus, the probiotic and BioCleanse. So I had to have the cheapest rate. But again, I wasn't going to share. I wasn't going to tell anybody. And so we kept using them, and I kept going to that job that I hated. And Tammy kept drilling into my head, Dusty, you tell me all the time you dislike this job. I also had another job at that same building. I cleaned those offices, cleaned them weekly to make ends meet. I had this job for 11 years, and I still needed to clean the offices at night to pay the bills, okay? So I worked a lot. One day, one of my bosses came into my office and expressed to me that if I didn't do this particular thing, they were going to let me go. What they wanted me to do was illegal. See, I had a federal quality job at this trucking company. I dealt with the federal employees, all the legal stuff, all the safety stuff, all the drug testing. I refused to do something illegal, and they told me they were going to let me go after 11 years, y'all.
Jeez.
And I refused to do this because I didn't want my kids to come visit me in jail. And at this time, my youngest was 8 and my oldest was 12. And I just couldn't do it. So I remember leaving the office that day and pulling over. I had about a 40-mile drive, pulling over in tears, thinking, what in the world am I going to tell my husband and my boys? What in the world am I going to do? And just sobbing. Anyways, I just felt this overwhelming feeling that I was supposed to share Plexus. Tammy had been continually telling me, Dusty, are you not seeing your results? Dusty, you could change somebody's life. You could share and help somebody. And so I thought, well, all right. And I remember praying on the side of the road, remember that where I was exactly, and saying, God, if this is what I'm supposed to do, let it work. And I made a post on Facebook. And honestly, I didn't post about myself. I threw my husband under the bus. I posted a picture of him because he'd lost 20 pounds. And I thought, I'll let them make fun of him first. Good wife I am. But anyways, I made a post about him. And I remember driving home still in tears. But as I was driving home, my phone started dinging. It started ringing my messenger started filling up, and I thought, oh my God, these people are, and it was all about Plexus. They wanted to know what Derek was doing. They wanted to know what we had gotten involved in. And I realized that was the answer. I didn't need to worry about that job that I was getting let go from because I wouldn't do something illegal. And thus my Plexus business started. But I was so scared because you have to understand, I told you that I had that full-time job, worked a lot, rancher's wife, mother, and all that stuff. But what you don't know probably is that I'm incredibly shy. So I'm thinking, as all these people are messaging me, oh my God, I'm going to have to talk to people. I'm actually going to have to share and figure out how to do this. But I don't want to talk to people. But I'm going to have to talk to people, right? So I hid behind Facebook in the beginning, and hid behind Messenger, and hid behind my Facebook posts. And then I got prodded by Tammy to do a couple of meetings. And I refused to speak at them, but she said that she would come to some of my local people and help me do it. And I was like Vanna White for the first several meetings. We had these signs, and I would just walk up around the front of the room with these signs like Vanna White, and I wouldn't say a word, okay? And she would do the meeting, and things were doing good. Then I had some of my awesome Plexus family members in Arizona. They wanted me to come out there and do some meetings out there. And I talked to Tammy. I said, can you go with me? She couldn't go with me. And I thought, how in the world am I going to do this? But one of them happened to be my best friend in the whole world. And she said, please come. We'll set up some meetings. And then I had some other girls out there that set up some meetings too. I can remember getting on the airplane, and we were about an hour into the flight, and I start to panic. And I'm like, going to go knock on the cockpit of the pilot and say, turn this sucker around, because I cannot get out this plane. I felt like I was going to start hyperventilating. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then it was like, are you serious? All I hear is, what are you going to do? Why do you want to go back? Why do you not want to do these meetings? For the people that are asking for it. So right then and there, I decided I was going to face many fears. And the way that I was going to face these fears over the next 7 days of meetings they had set up for me was, it was going to be all about them. All about them. I am the kind of friend that will do anything for my friends, whether it's scary to me or not. If I can make it about them, I can push through that fear and do it. And so I went out there and started doing my meetings for them. And they turned out fabulous. This is what I learned. Those people that I was speaking to, they'd never been to a Plexus meeting before. They didn't know if I was the best or the worst speaker out there. They just heard from my heart what had happened to me, what had happened to my family, and a little bit about the products and a touch on the business. And they all wanted to try it because I was simply sharing from my heart. I got on the airplane and I came home, and I remember telling my husband, I cannot believe I just did that. There were nights where I would get done with whatever meeting we were doing, and I would go back to whatever friend's house I was staying at or whatever hotel I was staying at, and I would just cry. Not because I was sad, but because I couldn't believe what I just did. And I was so over proud of myself for facing such big fears. And then my friends were elated because I was helping them, and they were learning, and they were ready and willing to do their own after I had come and done them for them. So my sons get their mother back because I'm not working 40 to 60 hours a week. My husband gets his wife back. I get my life back, as well as lots of energy and happiness. And guess what? I retire my husband.
Woo! Wow!
I bring my boy's father home so that he doesn't miss anything like I miss stuff.
Wow.
That was a pinnacle moment in our business, because I was out there facing these fears, doing these things that freaked me out basically, but it was growing my business for myself and for my team, because it was easy for me to make it about them. And so, you know, the way I look at this is fear can either make you or break you. And because I am this daughter of a rancher, born in Arizona, only child, introvert, learning that the fear could either hold me back or propel me forward, my whole life I let fear rule me. Fear always won, but it wasn't going to win anymore. I was tired of people like what I was working for, who always had their thumb on me, that would control my life. I got sick of fear controlling my life. And it was just a light bulb moment when I started facing them. Each time I faced a fear, it got easier to do the next one. And I tell myself all the time that if I go to do something and I'm afraid of it, I know I have to do it. Because I look at it this way, and forgive me if you're not as faith-filled as I am, but I feel like it's the devil that's trying to get me to not do something.
Yep.
And I believe it's the devil that holds you back from getting what you want in life. And so I always look at it that way. If it's something I'm doing for myself and it's scary, it's going to push us, because it wants me to have my dreams. My God wants me to have a husband and my family together, and he doesn't want us wore out and tired all the time.
Exactly.
Have we want. So, you know, Plexus has been a huge blessing to me, to say the least, guys. And it was a lot of hard work, and it was a lot of facing fears, but it was worth every ounce of it, because I don't know if you've seen me speak at convention, some of you are not, but the best thing that I got, even from just my husband, was him looking at me, telling me that I had become the woman that he always knew I could be. That was big, you know, for me. He knew that I had this in me. He knew that I was better than what I ever allowed myself to be. But fear had always ruled me, because I just told myself all these years that this shy girl was just going to sit in the back of the room and let life go by. It was just going to be what it was going to be. But not anymore. And so I work with my team a lot about facing fears. And I think that I work with my team a lot about facing fears, because I still face fears every single day. Mm-hmm. And so we do a lot of talking about fears, of getting to the root of what they're afraid of. And 9 times out of 10, what their fear is of somebody that is going to say no to them, or somebody's going to reject them, or somebody's going to think they're crazy. Here's the thing. If somebody thinks you're crazy, or if somebody, loses respect for you or something, that is their problem. That is not your problem. People either love you or hate you, and either way, it has nothing to do with you, if that makes sense to you guys. It has everything to do with them and the way they think personally, if whether they love you or hate you or think you're crazy. I thought my friend Tammy was crazy, but she wasn't. It didn't mean I didn't love her. I just thought she was crazy. But she kept sharing with me. She kept facing the fear of me saying no, or completely and totally rejecting me, because she knew she had something to offer me. She had something that could change my life, and that's the way she looks at it. So now it's the way I look at it. I have something that can change somebody's life. And that is something I pride myself on, to say that I have a team of like over 3,000 people. I had even just the smallest bit in that. That gives me so much pride. What if you had 20 people on your team, 100 people on your team, 1,000 people on your team? You have even just the smallest part of that, of changing somebody's life. Isn't that huge? Suzanne?
It is. It's massive. It's
It
very
is.
huge. Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
So, I had told Suzanne that I would talk to you a little bit about, I work with a team. So we work a lot with fear, but we work a lot on daily work. Because if you're doing something every single day, you're going to face fears, right? You're going to have daily activity, which is your IPAs, which I'm sure she talks about a lot. I'm sure you hear a lot of people, Jewel, Silver, every level in between, talking about daily work. Guys, that's exactly what it takes. When I was on my rise to Sapphire, and now I'm still on my rise to Diamond, it takes every ounce of daily work. Now, do you have to work 12 hours a day? You do not have to work 12 hours a day. Now, I won't say there weren't a few days that I did, because I was very driven to get out of where I was. I was not going to accept being broke, being poor, and accept somebody holding their thumb on me anymore. So there was a few days where I worked like that. But it's just like anything. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. So it boils down to daily activity. So with my team, a big part of them knew that I did a 90-day challenge for myself. And I'll tell you, in a 90-day span, I went from Senior Ruby to Sapphire. If you know anything about the points from Senior Ruby to Sapphire, that's a very big jump. And I did it in 90 days. I took what Eric Worre talked about at a leaders retreat one time about a 90-day challenge. And you can find his 90-day program on YouTube. He has lots of videos over it. But basically what it boils down to was 90 days of daily activity without stopping. I knew I could do that. I knew I'd have my husband on board. I went home, told my husband and my kids, Mommy's going to be here, but Mommy's not going to be here, if you get what I mean. I was going to be present for some things, but I wasn't going to be present for everything. And for those 90 days, I worked my tail off. And I went from Senior Ruby to Sapphire. That is something I have never once regretted. So now, during that time, it was probably 8 to 12 hours a day of work of doing that. Now, you can still get to Sapphire without doing a 90-day challenge and work 12 hours a day. That's not what I'm telling you to do. But I took that 90-day challenge, and I have broken it down. And I don't know if this is something, Suzanne has looked at what I've done. I don't know if she's going to bring it to you guys or not. But my team is doing one right now. I broke it down to very simple. Structured activity for the first 30 days, and then we go from 30 to 60 and then 60 to 90. And what we do for the first 30 days is nothing more than reaching out to a minimum of 2 to 5 people every single day. And then we do a training video that we watch, usually between 5 and 10 minutes long, never very long. And what else did we, okay, so we do the daily activity, we do the training video, we do affirmations every single day, and follow up every Friday. Very simple daily activities. And so in this 90-day group, challenge group, I simply do a daily post where I start them off with whatever video is needed to get them off on the right start, and then tell them, okay, here we go. Every day you come here and you post who you contacted, how many you contacted, and what happened, which gives them accountability, right? So we do that for the first 30-day structure. It is so simple, guys. It doesn't take, most people do this in 15 minutes. Some of them do an hour if they do more contacts. Like I said, the more you do, the more you get out of it. Mm-hmm. When we hit day 31, we add in one simple thing: meetings. The meetings can either be one-on-one, pajama parties, actual meetings where you have people, 5, 10, 20 people come to your house and you do a Plexus information meeting, to, if you have a bigger group, host a big meeting, get as many people you can there. Set several of them up during the next 30 to 60 days. That's the only thing we add. And we continue with our daily contacting, affirmations, and one training video. When we get to day 60, we add in one more thing, and that is simply connecting with your downline with a coaching call once a week. So what this 90-day challenge does is it gets you in shape to really make your contacts every day, follow up every Friday, watch your training video every day, and host a meeting every now and again. But did you know that it takes 21 days to create a habit, another 21 days to help set it in, and the following 21 days to make sure you never stop doing that? 90-day structures are really important. Why is this? It is because the first 30 days you plant a lot of seeds. During a 90-day challenge, you have to be very strong because the first 30 days are usually pretty quiet. From day 30 to day 60, you start to see some of those seeds come to harvest, literally, because you're watering them, you're nurturing them, and your follow-ups.
Right.
But guess what happens from day 60 to day 90? They jump on board. Had a girl sponsor 15 people in 1 month. She didn't believe me that a 90-day structure could ever do that. She almost quit me around day 50. But about day 62 came the first ambassador, then the second ambassador, all the way to 15 ambassadors within that next 30-day structure.
Wow.
She is a firm believer in the 90-day structure.
Is that Jimmy?
Yes, that's Jimmy.
Gosh, she's amazing. I just met her, by the way. We met each
Really?
other happenstance. I saw her post her picture of her, I'm going to be an emerald, and here's my 5 affirmations. You rock. I mean, literally, she put that on her Facebook profile. I had never seen her, never met her. I think it was on your timeline. And I immediately texted her. I'm like, we need to be friends right now. And so
I made her do that.
yes. Well, she is something else. And she sent me the video that she taught her team and talked about what she did. So I'm going to share that video with you guys as well. Keep going, Destiny. I don't want to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. So just know in that those 90-day structures are the most powerful tip that I can give you. But during that 90-day structure, all those reach outs, right? So I always encourage people to, get their list growing all the time, because you're always going to be reaching out to people. Now, I'm a big person who believes in relationships. So here's the deal. I'm all about building the relationship with somebody. So the first time that I message somebody, I'm not going to tell you that I asked them about Plexus unless I'm really close with them. Like my best friend, when I sponsored her into the business, I picked up the phone because she lives 1,000 miles away. And I said, Jeannie, you are going to do this with me. Now, if you have a good relationship, like with your best friend, you can say stuff like that because they're like, I'm going to do what with you? And then you say, I am so excited about this business and what it has done for me. Oh my gosh. Like I could not contain my excitement. And she was like, okay, wait a minute. Just let me try the products first. It wasn't even 3 days in, she was signing up. She was sold. But she's told me since then, she was like, I love that you called me and said, you're doing this with me. So if you have a good relationship with somebody, definitely call them and say, oh my gosh, you're going to do this with me because you are awesome, because you're a relationship person. You are full of life. You are full of spunk. You want to edify that person, because you know them well and you can give them their good qualities. Okay. So that puts it into their brain. Now, somebody that I don't know very well, but I do know them, say I don't have a really close relationship with them. I am big if I see them face to face just to talk about them. What do people like to talk the most about? Themselves. That's what they know the most about, right? So you make them really comfortable the first time that you see them, or the first time that you message them. You say something like, hey, oh my gosh, I love the photos that you're putting about your kids up there. Love to watch your family. Thanks for sharing. I'm big on that, okay, with somebody that you're not real close with. And then I might, a few days later, message them something about another post that they make. Then on my third reach out, I'm going to say, hey, I know you know what I do. Have you ever heard about Plexus or ever used Plexus? I always ask questions. I don't ever just say, hey, I would love to have you on my team. No, they don't have to respond to that. Always end with a question, okay? That is one of the best tips that I can give you when you're messaging out to people. Now, when it comes to somebody that I don't know, the cold messaging, like I friended somebody, I don't friend them one day and message them the next day. Not going to happen. I might friend them, and it's going to be probably a couple weeks, probably. I'm probably going to, in the meantime, be liking some of their posts so they can see that I'm, watching their life. And then I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate you accepting my friend request. Love watching the posts about your family or whatever they're sharing, because a lot of my people are rodeo people, so we have a lot of the same interests, and I'm so and so's friend. I see that you guys do a lot together. Love that kind of thing. Hey, this may not be for you, but I'm looking for somebody up in your area to help me get the word out about this business and these products that I use. Would you know anybody that might be interested in? And then I'll share a little bit about something like, it's a health and wellness company that helps regulate blood sugars, healthy pain relief, something similar to that. It's not very salesy. And I'll just say, do you know anybody that might be interested in that area? A lot of times they will say, yes, it's them. Or they say, hey, I've seen that floating around, but I didn't know anybody that was actually doing it, but I hear a lot of chatter about it. So those kinds of things are really good to say, hey, I'm looking for somebody in your area. It's not necessarily pinpointing them. If they come back and say, I really don't know anybody in my area that would be doing that, then I would say, hey, if you ever for yourself would like to consider this, I would love it. Or if you come across anybody in your dealings, please think of me for a referral. People are so nice, usually because they want to help you out. They don't want to be mean to you. And when you ask for a referral, after they've said no, they're not interested, or, they don't know anybody, to just keep you in mind for that referral. That's huge, because I've had that work several times where they said, hey, you know what? My friend did say, hey, you're the plexus lady, and I'm curious about that, So I really teach my team to build the relationship as best they can first. But when you're doing these 90-day structures, sometimes it's hard to build that relationship really fast, and you always want to be continually reaching out. So people that you do know, like I said, build a relationship first. Those cold market people that you're friend requesting and stuff, do wait a week or two before you message them. Do not ever friend request them and then immediately send them a business request, because you're going to get blocked and they're going to unfriend you.
Right.
So I'm also big on with my team, teaching them to engage with their downlines. Because when you link arms with your downline, great things happen. It doesn't mean you spend all of your time working with your team. You need to spend probably 50% of your time doing your own recruitment, yourself, working on yourself, personal development, the videos, and always reaching out every single day. Then you probably are going to spend 30% of the time with your runners, those business builders you have. I don't care if it's just one person. Be proud to have that one person. I'm a Sapphire, and I can tell you, I can count on one hand my level ones that want to rock this business, okay? And I have a lot of level ones. I love my wholesale buyers, and I love, love, love my people that tinker with the business, but I spend 30% of my time with my runners.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Hold that thought. I don't want to make you forget it. How many level ones do you have, Dusty?
I have
like active, inactive, the whole thing.
Active, inactive,
all
the whole thing. Oh, well, inactive, I'm going to say between active and inactive, I probably have sponsored between 50 and 60 people into the business. Probably, I know there's like 22 of them that are still active. And then I have my husband's account. I'm not going to lie to you. My husband's a senior Ruby.
Okay.
And that's him and me working it together. It's mostly me. He's behind the scenes, does a lot of the reports and stuff, part of it. And we have about 40 people connected to him and probably 25 of those active. So that gives me about, 50 active people.
Awesome.
Does not mean they're all building,
Right.
But
They
yes, they could. And so that's why I say I spend 30% of my time with those that want to rock the business. I mean, like that, and that doesn't mean me working their business. It's me getting with them, saying, hey, what's the game plan? What can we do together? Do we need to host a meeting? Do we need to do a PJ party together? What can I help you with your team call? That kind of stuff. Coaching them through things and working together. I never see myself as above anybody in my organization. I look at myself as working side by side with them. And I make that very well known to my team that we are in this together.
Right.
I say this a lot on my team page, a lot about working side by side with them. The worst thing you could ever do with your team is to talk at them. You want to talk with them, because I'm not above my team.
No,
I am not above my team. I am with my team. So the other 20% that you have, so we had 50% for ourselves, 30% with our runners. The other 20% you're going to spend digging around with your in your organization to find those workers. Sometimes, a lot of time, your workers are not your level ones, but you can find your levels 2s, 3s, and 4s that are the workers, and you'll spend time with them. And then you're going to just kind of sprinkle in the love to those wholesale ambassadors and others like that. So, but if you want to grow in this business, you're going to want to pour into yourself, and you're going to want to link arms with your team and do something like this 90-day challenge that we're doing. I go from event to event to event. And what I mean by that is when we end our 90-day challenge, we'll have probably a week or something off. And then I might do a 7-day challenge. And then I might have a couple of days off. And then I'll do a 6-week coaching group. And then I'll probably take another week off. And then we'll do a 21-day challenge. I go from event to event to event with my team to keep engagement. Because I do this because there's people in my organization that are all different levels. Some people that are just now starting, some people that have been with me for years. Everybody's in a different place. But if I go from event to event to event, there's always something that's going to appeal to somebody. And I learned that from the #1 network marketer in the country, Randy Gage. He's wonderful to follow.
Wow. Okay. I love Randy Gage. I just saw him speak at Mastermind. I bought his whole package over here. Duplication Nation.
Yes, he is fantastic. I've never, ever met a man that is more honest and more just structured. The one thing that he did say to me when I was at, it was on one of his training CDs. He talks about if you ever want to lead a team, the first step is to lead yourself. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead a team. Because if you're telling your team to go out and recruit and you're not recruiting, your team's not going to do it. They're not going to have respect for you and see that they're just going to say, oh, I am a workhorse for you. But if you do these events like these 6-week coachings or 21-day challenge or a 90-day challenge and you work right alongside them, they see you doing something every day, they'll go with you to the end of the moon and back. And to get somebody to work with you like that, it comes from you sharing your heart with them. I share with them why I do this, that I push past fears every day because I want the best for my sons and my husband. My why is very strong, and that is what has kept me going for 4 years, y'all. 4 years. Every day I look at those little boys' faces. I'm not giving up, because if I give up, they'll give up. I'm not about to let my little boys ever say that they want to give up. If they say, Mommy gave up, well, they can give up. But if they never see their mother give up, they will never give up. And so I always work with my team to get a very, very strong why. Yes, it's okay if your why is just to get your products paid for, but the minute you get that, let's move on to the next one. So we revisit our why a lot. And in a 90-day structure challenge, we revisit it every 30 days and readjust the why if we need to readjust it to conquer those fears. We also, in the 90-day challenge, I put a motivational video because not everybody watches it. It's not required, but it's something that I do every day. When I get up, drop my kids off at school, I always go to the gym first thing in the morning. And what do I do when I get on the elliptical? I listen to a motivational video. Les Brown's my favorite, but you can get on YouTube and there's 5 to 10 minute, 15-minute motivational videos. Just type in motivational Les Brown, motivational fear, motivational never giving up. Type those into YouTube. You will pull up some of the best videos you have ever seen. And I put one of those in my 90-day challenge every single day for those that need that. It's not required, but you know what? I'm going to tell you 98% of the people watch those because it fires them up for the day. So we hold our whys very strongly, but then we have got to keep those, I have to keep those motivational videos there because it just pours into me. You have got to pour into yourself some kind of personal development every single day when you're reaching out with those contacts, guys. So it's more than just the training videos that you're going to watch. You've got to feed your soul with something because, yeah, you need to know how to talk to somebody, but you need to know what fuels your fire. So my kids fuel my fire, and those motivational videos fuel my fire because they help me remember to never, ever give up, never let my fear win. And so, those are just a few things. So I hope I've hit some of the things that you wanted me to.
I cannot even tell you what you have just done for me. Just what you've just done for me personally. I've shared this with my team. I'm going to share it again, and I'm going to share it with you while you're sitting here so that you can see how dedicated I am to what you just talked about. Okay, my team, I am very vulnerable. I share my flaws. I share my doubts. I share my fears. I share what I'm struggling on, and I share what I'm working on so they can know I'm real. You're looking at a girl who's never had a Frank's list. Got to Senior Ruby with that one. Lists in every notebook with my finances and my grocery list and everything else. Pulling from everywhere. Never consistent. Working 3 days like a freak on a garage sale site. Generating a bunch of leads. Doing a bunch of following up. Signing up a couple of people in the next couple of weeks. And then exhaustion hits. Taking a break that was only going to be a day or two. But it turns into longer than that.
Right.
I'm being honest.
Right.
So yours truly has a special notebook. And I now have a Frank's list of up to 600. Let's see if I can put it up here. 658 people. Okay. And this is only for Frank's list. And what I have done is those 658 people are now in a warm market file and a cold market file. These are people I have friended on Facebook that I don't know at all. Never talked to them. Friends of friends of friends of millions of different friends. I have no idea who they are. Okay? And I'm telling you something. I have made a prompt. Look, I will not be a jewel, and neither will anyone on my team who wants this, unless we commit to consistency and reaching out every single day. We can't do this little spurt of work and then expect to get to a jewel level. It ain't gonna happen. So what you have just said to me and what you have just told my team is prolific. Prolific. I can't even tell you. You threw me in that 90-day challenge group. I've looked at it. Sometimes I've looked at it every day and said, that's a cool idea. But at the same time, I'm over here doing this. And I'm like, and now you're on tonight. And I'm thinking, we need to stop everything and just do a 90-day challenge. Like, it's crazy radical as this sounds. This is just me talking. We do an opportunity event with a YouTube deal, like on Google Hangout once a month. We do a 7-day challenge with trying to get people in a 7-day trial. We do a 101 Plexus online event. It's like a pajama party. We do those 3 things every month. I spend a lot of my time doing that. I spend a lot of time being exhausted from garage sale groups and recovering from that. And I think what we just need to do is put our nose to the grindstone and do daily IPAs.
Right. It's so simple. Sometimes I think that people try to make this business too hard. And I'm so simple-minded, y'all, and break it down to loving people. And I do pour into my team, but I don't spend 12 hours a day doing it and and making myself go crazy. Can I do it? Could I do that? Yes. I have I guess for lack of a better word, an addictive personality to work, to what I know will drive me. And so the more you work at it, the higher you will rank. But it's so simple to break it down to daily work. The thing is, I don't know, Suzanne, if you've ever shared this with your team, but the first 90-day challenge that I broke down with my people, and I don't have my notes here, but I remember we had 2 emeralds arise from it. We had 2 senior rubies, a ruby, 2 senior golds, a couple of golds, and more silvers than I can account arise from that 90-day challenge. And all it was such simple, dedicated work every day that somebody could get done in 15 minutes to an hour. Great things happen when you get a group of people that push forward with just daily work.
Okay.
I got a message today that one of my girls was being checked on by my sponsor, Tammy Elmore. She had sponsored 7 people this month into the business, and she had over $2,000 in personal volume. And so Tammy reached out before I did and asked her, her name's Libby, and said, Libby, what do you account your success for this last month? And she said, I'm in Dusty's 90-day challenge, and I was spending a lot of time before it just doing cold messaging. But I learned that relationships are really important. Daily work without spinning my wheels, and I sponsored 7 people and had over $2,000 in PV.
Radical. I mean, it's so simple, but it's radical. I mean,
right. A simple video every day to train yourself on something. These videos don't have to be 45 minutes long. Yes, you're going to watch a few of those from time to time, but a simple 5 to 10 minute video every day for personal development in the business aspect. Maybe a 5-minute motivational video to get your butt kicked in gear, and to know that by the end of the day, you got to say your affirmations and message a minimum of 2 to 5 people. Who can't do that?
Exactly. Okay, now let me ask you something. What was the thing I was going to ask you? Oh, geez. It just slipped my brain. My mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, so forgive me. It's left me. I'll think of it.
One thing that I will tell you, because the 90-day structure, I teach my people that every Sunday night to set up your week, because a big part of my team work, and I get that. I work too, when I first started this. Mm-hmm. And just set up your week. Take 30 minutes on a Sunday night or whenever on Sunday, and write down your list, who you're going to contact on what day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what videos you're going to watch. If you don't want to watch the ones that I put in the group, although most people like to stick with the kind of a subject line that I have going in there, we kind of go from, one structure to another. It kind of leads in a right pace to get people trained, and so it's all set up for them, that they just go there, watch their videos, they know they got their own affirmations, and watch the motivational video, and they know to get out there and talk to people. So I set up a lot of it, but what it does teach them is that they can jump on YouTube after 90 days when I'm done posting in there, that they know, hey, I can jump on YouTube. I teach them how to go to YouTube and find what they need, what speaks to them, because what I post may not be what they need that day. So they need to know where to do it. So I teach them, set up their week, make their list of who they're going to contact each day, kind of look at their schedule, find out where they're going to have their power hour or power 15 minutes, and set it up, because then it makes it so simple if they're prepared and planned ahead. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. If you make a plan, you're going to execute the plan. But if you say, I'm going to do something, and you don't have a plan, then you're not going to do it. So, okay, so here's what I want to ask you. I think I just remember, do you work on the weekends? Do you do the same thing on the weekends? Do you do it 7 days a week?
Yes, I do it 7 days a week. I give a grace period in this 90-day challenge. They can miss 1 to 2 days a week, if they have something that is very important that they need to. But I do tell them that, if they miss more than those 2 days, they get removed from the group because it is an accountability group.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage them. Most everybody that's still in the group works at 7 days. I post something Monday through Saturday, and then Sunday I say that 30 minutes is spent preparing for that week. Now, if you have somebody that you want to message on Sunday, please do so. But if you want to take that time to work on relationships at church, with your family, whatever it is, fine. That's still a day that you're so-called working because you're building those relationships. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm big on relationships. The people that I have the strongest relationships with are the ones that stick with me by this business.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And we have some really strong relationships on our team.
Right.
Like what you just said, vulnerability, running with your team, not above your team. I certainly am a girl who doesn't have a freaking Frank's list. I'm not going to put myself above my team. There is nothing that puts me above my team. Right. I mean, none of us are professional network marketers, but we all want to become that, and we are all working towards the same mission. And that's why I always stress to my team is that we are on the same level, doing the same thing. One of us just click join plexus before the others.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly. But if you run strong and stout, you can get there. Whenever I got to Sapphire, I did not have one jewel on my team. I had worked my tail off to get there. Since then, I have a couple of jewels. Yes, one level 1. I had a little level 3 jewel, but it is what it is. But if we all link arms and do our daily work for ourselves and then turn to our team to help them, nothing can stop you. And you make it so simple. It's not about the next best or greatest thing. Yes, you want to, teach them if you learn something new, but it's all about simple daily work. My mind is simple, and my team is usually like, oh my God, this is so simple. When you can put the fear aside, you just got to find ways to help them push past their fears. And so I do, for those people that do have the fears, I do some one-on-one time with them and just kind of coach them through to find out what they're afraid of, and then making them see it in a different aspect, that if they don't face that fear, they never will be successful. I'm very open and honest with them. I don't ever say, well, if you continue the way you are, you might be successful. I'm very blunt with them to say, if you don't face the fear, you might as well go ahead and stop, because if you can't face certain little fears, you're not going to go very far. Correct. I simply ask them, do they want it bad enough or not? And if they want it bad enough, they will start to face certain fears. It doesn't mean that, day one we host a meeting, but, the first week we might work on handing out business cards. The little steps, the little fears faced lead to facing big fears. Mm-hmm. So. This is incredible. This is enlightening. I love everything that you have to say tonight. I mean, truly, this is like what our team is, I think, struggling with. Because when you have a leader, and I train hard with garage sales because honestly, they're very effective. And I've sponsored so many people, and I have legs from garage sales. But the fact is though, if you don't do that you can't just do one thing and expect to get to a jewel level. So I guess my question is this. I have a question. Can you go back and look at your timeline when you ranked from each rank and pinpoint, okay, the reason I got to gold is because of this person and this person that I added to my team. And the reason that I got to senior gold and ruby is when these people joined me and they started to grow and I started to help them. Can you go back and look at it's like you weren't just sitting around waiting for the people that you already have on your team and just helping them and maybe trying to sponsor every now and then, but just helping them to do their thing, because that team is going to get you there. Or did you go back and say, it's this first level recruiting that got me to these ranks? Well, okay, so it's a balance of both. Whenever I hit Sapphire, like I said, I didn't have one jewel on my team. And so it was constant recruiting of level ones, getting them off on the best start possible, getting them making money, getting them duplicated. And I'll tell you, everybody gets to a point where their business where it kind of tapers off. You have that huge, you hit your momentum and you go, 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 go. And then there comes a time where it tapers off. And guess what happens? I can go back. I have all my day planners from when I first started this. I can show you where my business tapered off. And it was when I stopped recruiting. I went from recruit to manage. Yeah. And it was eye-opening for me. And it was like, oh, I've got to recruit some people. I wanted growth. I got to go recruit another level 1, get them to gold, senior gold, get them teaching their people so that they grow. All my growth from when I hit diamond, when I hit sapphire to where I am now, it is all from new growth and new legs. So yes, I'm not saying don't do your garage sale groups. Of course, that's part of your 50% working on you. Mm-hmm. But then that 30% needs to be, helping your runners. Mm-hmm. You need to qualify your people. Mm-hmm. Anybody on your team needs to qualify their people, find their runners, and then find their people that are tinkering. So it'll be 30-20 there. But that 50% needs to be you first. Because if you don't lead yourself, you can't lead a team. Correct. And I was leading a team, and then I quit leading myself, and my team tapered off, and we kind of we had just been in the same spot for a long time, and it was like, you quit recruiting, boom, I go find some new people. I got a new gold, a new senior gold. Oh, where's my growth coming from? All new legs. So I teach my people, growth comes from all new legs. If you have a gold that's been gold for 2 years, that person's not necessarily helping you. You have to love them where they are. Maybe they're happy with just being a gold. If they want to get outside of being gold, they got to go sponsor some new people. Exactly. New growth comes from new legs.
I love you. You are so amazing. Do you have, when this call is over, because I'm going to hit stop and say goodnight to everybody. Do you have like 10 minutes to talk to me?
Sure.
Okay, awesome sauce. All right, guys, thank Dusty. I'm going to unmute you just for a second. If you're having conversations or your television in the background, do not unmute, okay? So say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Nice to meet you.
I hope I gave you something.
A lot. I loved it.
Good.
So we appreciate you so much. And you know what? I'm going to take a picture because you're just so amazing. I just have to do it. I really appreciate you on tonight with us. We really do. And just kudos to you. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Mwah. Thank you. And I'm going to stop recording, and I'll see you guys very soon.